tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey guys, welcome back. We're talking Resurrection Season 2. That's it. Yeah.
I love hearing that music.
We are coming home. We're coming into your home.
We are coming home.
We are home back here at AfterBuzz talking about Resurrection Season 2, Episode 1, Revelation.
Yes.
I'm your host, Zach Wilson, and let's introduce the fantastic panel that we're going to have for this season, for this full season of Resurrection, not the 8-episode thing we got last year.
We're going to speed.
So to my left, we have the lovely Melina Alves.
Hello.
And then on the other side of the table, this music just went to another level. We have G. Madison kicking it over there.
Hey guys.
And the fantastic Chelsea Briche. Yeah, see, they don't play this part on Resurrection.
They don't. I didn't even know it was like a...
This is the song that it's actually from.
This is not I'm coming home. This is I'm coming back to the hood.
Which is where it came from. And then they singled it. Anyway, let's talk about the actual episode.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit. We'll do a little bit of that today.
Let's.
First impressions, guys. We're back. We left Bellamy and Jacob standing there with a attack helicopter and locusts. What did you guys think of tonight's episode?
Well, I was first confused at the beginning. Like, are we going back in time, forward in time? And
I know, we're sitting there, we're like, wait, so where are we? Present, future, somewhere between?
Playing with my emotions, I'm telling you. But it was great. I thought the opening scene was very intriguing. It got us caught back in. I was missing this season. I was so excited to come back and see it. So it was great to see them start with something very suspenseful. You know what I mean? So I was excited. It was good.
Yeah, it was a great way to open the second season with a very eerily similar opening to season 1. They had the tall grass. It's you don't know quite where you are or what's going on, and they move over somebody who's passed out on the ground. And in this case, it's very night because we are in a much darker situation now. And we come over Bellamy, and he wakes up, and we're like, what is happening?
Oh, I loved it. But they have a way of shooting all these scenes where they go over the locusts, right? And you almost can imagine that they're gonna all like start flying away. They just have a eerie way of shooting, the way the beautiful camera work, right? Of showing us that something could happen. Keep watching. Like it's never really expected. That's what I love about it. As I spit across.
It feels like they're playing with a lot of our.
That's for you.
They're playing with a lot of our old theories of like what does the water mean, and then the locusts. Like locusts are very biblical things, and so to drop them into the opening shot, I think it's very telling. We might be getting a plague as we go forward in the season.
And maybe the plague is coming from the ground up, right?
My mind didn't
go there.
My mind didn't go there at all.
I'm super reading into things now, but
no, I like that because there needs to be something that happens that kind of shakes it up.
It's gonna be interesting. So then Bellamy from there, he's just like because he doesn't. You guys are confused because he's confused, and I think the show was very good at showing that. He very much is just trying to figure out what is it. We come to find out he's missing a week of his life. He doesn't know what happened. He's got these loose memories kicking around.
And the pains in his heart or
his chest.
He's like, is he having a heart attack? None of the other returned or have that kind of situation. They do have, I think, that the same sort of flashbacks. It's like as we find out, where we left him, we got that the crescent birthmark on the back of his neck. So we're like, he's returned. And then of course we left, and we're like waiting months and months for what's happening.
Thinking about Bellamy.
Yes.
But we're getting more flashbacks of like what's happening, and we saw the returned that were in the town, all the new people that had flooded in being loaded onto buses. And that's scary. Like, where are they going? He doesn't know. All he's got is that memory, and so he gets the Langstons. and then he's like, helicopter, so many guns. I don't know where Jacob is. Jacob comes bounding down the stairs. Oh, hey, Marty.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
I'm good, Marty.
Where's my milk and cookies?
My milk and cookies.
He came down so cool. I mean, for it to be a week
so
long.
cool, calm and collected. I mean,
Yeah.
Jacob's always just kind of like,
is.
you know, what's up, guys?
Jacob's suspiciously calm and collected.
Yeah.
He's so cute, but at the same time, his cuteness is creeping me out.
So creepy.
And how they follow when he's sleeping, he just opens his. It's like they try to creep us out with this little kid. I think like the history of movies and suspense movies is this little kid, like taking us through the darkness. You know what I mean? So here we are again.
Little kids are scary, man. You just gotta be careful. Like, don't look a little kid in the eyes.
Little kids and clowns. You never know what they're thinking.
Do we need to watch out for clowns?
Yes.
In Arcadia.
In an arcade, yeah.
But so as we go through what Bellamy is dealing with, he got injected with something. He got taken in, captured. He thinks they wiped his memory. What did you guys think as he's piecing this together? Because they're calling him, the Langstons had heard he was unstable.
Right.
Are you thinking he's lost it? He clearly was gone from the rest of our little town folk.
No, I don't think he's unstable. I understand why they think that, but he's still, I mean, to me, I feel like it's the idea of the hoax. Like, everyone thinks that something's wrong, so something has to be wrong with him when no one's really realizing, like, what's going on, you know? Like, it was kind of the same thing when Jacob came back. No one could believe it and had this theory and that theory, but I actually feel like, unfortunately for Marty, the whole season might be that everyone's against him, you know? He's going to lose his job and lose some people in his life or whatever it may be, but in my opinion, he's not in the wrong, or nothing's wrong with him.
Well, I think when they said unstable, I think they were afraid to say that we killed him. And so unstable in that he's not alive, you know? So instead of saying in a struggle, he was killed or he was shot, right? I think that it's a little safer to say he's unstable. We're going to hold on to him for a while.
Yeah. Like it's a cover up, right? Like they're trying to cover up what's going on. We see the newspaper article, Missouri town falls for zombie hoax, and Bellamy as a federal official is, I think, the most credible source for these rumors. And so if you discredit him, who else is possibly going to supersede that opinion?
So unstable is to continue that hoax idea of things are not really. Nothing was even wrong in the first place. The only thing wrong was the person who was saying that there was people coming back, which is Bellamy. That sucks. That sucks for him, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's having
such a good guy, man. It's like kill him twice,
right? Or who knows how many times.
I know, right? That's true.
He's having a hell of a day, though. Like he calls his old boss. He's like, Tony, what's happening? He's like, and they transfer him like, or you're saying that you are Agent Martin Bellamy, and then he knows something's up,
right?
Things up quick.
Instantly, he's like, "I'm gonna call you back."
Out of here. Yeah, smart man.
But then he catches there's some nice stuff going on because he goes to see Maggie.
Oh,
he's gonna stay on her couch.
Is that what they call it nowadays?
Huh?
She's got a couch available. You know, in case you want, it's just a couch. Don't worry about it. It's
and it soon became a glass of wine. I know. Yes.
The couch is where it starts.
I read that book. Yeah. That's chapter 1.
That's a Saturday night.
Maggie's totally the aggressor here, though, man.
Going to a Sunday morning.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but we've always been excited about that little couple, though. Like we've always sensed something, and it's nice to see that they actually have a real conversation about who they are, not just what they're dealing with. So.
Well, I felt like. Sorry, Zach. I felt like I wanted them to have a little more because Maggie made the point. She's like, it's interesting. I don't know anything about you. Right. And then he was like, he almost took the bait, but then he started talking about the return again. Yeah. And the whole situation, I'm like, no, she just gave it to you on a gold platter. You know, like, take it.
I want to know who you are.
Yeah. She's like, have a conversation with me. And he's like, so the return. You know?
Back to work, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, he's a guy. We don't really get the signs that quickly.
No, you don't.
I was gonna say you don't really.
Because I've given you 7 and you haven't seen 1.
Well, I mean, both of these two were like missing signs totally for all of season 1. We're like, okay, just hook up already. We can all see it.
Yeah.
Well, at least we got his shirt off this time, so at least we're getting closer. To a connection. Right.
There we go.
One baby step at a time. I mean, they do sort of sum it up. Like, we sort of forget this because we've had like months to think about it. The season lasted 8 weeks. This was only over a couple weeks.
That's
like
true.
2 or 3 weeks. The whole of what we've experienced so far, and even up to now, this has all been like a month.
Yeah, we're pretty dirty, huh? We're like, will they just get it on already?
Right?
Oh, we need to fall back a little bit. Yeah.
We're impatient TV watchers. We demand hookups now.
Kiss him.
So he finally gets a phone call from Tony, his boss. And so we'll have to keep waiting for answers with him and Maggie.
Right.
And immediately the next day, he's like in a car heading to I think it was
Chicago.
It was Chicago. Okay, that's a long drive.
Would you have gone if you were Marty?
No.
No, would you?
No.
I wouldn't trust anyone at this point. I wouldn't go.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you got to take precautions, but nobody in Arcadia is going to have any answers for him.
Yeah. I don't need. Yeah, I wouldn't go. We do a Skype meeting or something.
Skype.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like that.
We have technology for a reason. I don't even drive to Chicago.
WhatsApp, something. You know.
I mean, it worked out, I guess.
Yeah.
What?
Well, he gets there and like, yes, he saw but he caught the trap before they caught him.
Yeah, and then some lady shows up in his living room.
Yeah, no, it didn't work out. I didn't think it worked out at all.
I mean, he pieced it together at the end of it. In that sense, he's not captured. They didn't inject him with anything this time.
Okay.
True, but now they own him and they control him. And I feel like
he hasn't taken the job yet, though, but he will.
He doesn't have an option. It's either that or get bussed away with the others. So
well,
they really didn't give him an option.
He could play like the triple agent sort of thing, like where I don't
think he's
Jack
stable enough to do that.
Yeah,
he is unstable.
He's unstable.
Because if he's in the town, he pretends to be reporting for them, but he's actually like doing his own thing.
That would
I feel
be great if he did that.
I think that's what he's doing now.
Yeah.
I mean, through that whole thing, like he's got his knife out, he's being all cautious, but like he comes to realize he is a returned. We knew it. But now he's twice returned.
Yeah.
I think he's many more returned. Because, because it shows his family last season, and they were from, what did we say, 1920s possibly? And that was around the time he went missing probably. And now that means he would have had to die.
Well, I guess this is another one of those big questions is like because why are they all coming back now? What is important about now versus he came back so many years ago,
right?
Despite the fact that he died for the first time years before Jacob or anyone,
right?
So
ages before.
And there was a picture that they were looking at. They were saying, "Oh, Jacob was not the first."
Right.
So it's happened.
That's next week.
Okay.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Because I feel
be quiet.
I think so far we've seen when they die, they come back at the state that they died in, right? So
correct.
He died when he was a kid, so he came back when he's a kid, which means right now he looks to be 32. And that's not enough time. That means he would have had to die by the time he was 32, like back in the 1960 upper 60s, 19.
He was probably born like he thinks he was born in like the late 70s.
Right, but he wasn't, and we know that, like the 1920s possibly. Which means he would have died at 1952, let's just say.
Yes.
And then
but
had
I guess
to keep
also,
dying.
how come do you think he hasn't realized that he is a returned?
Well, he was a baby. They say that he died in the flood with his family when he was a baby.
Right.
So he would have just come back. Somebody probably found this abandoned child in the woods or somewhere.
First
heard
memory
him
is
crying.
his first kid. I mean, his first parents, whoever found him.
So do you think he died at, I'm just throwing 32 out there.
Whatever it was.
And then didn't come back until now? Is that what you're thinking?
No, when he died as a baby, he came back in the 70s or the 80s or whatever it was.
Right, as a kid.
As a baby. So he has no memory of this.
Got
He just grew up thinking he was a regular kid.
Right.
And then all this stuff starts happening.
Okay, I got you now.
But the question is, why would he come back at such a different time than everyone else? What is it about him that's different?
And how does he come back more than once?
Well, Rachel did it last season.
Rachel did it. Remember?
So now
Maybe
if
they're
you
special.
kill a return, they'll still come back.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
So whatever's behind all this it's becoming more and more complicated
Yes.
as we go forward, and none so more complicated than when Grandma shows up.
Oh man.
First of all,
she's hot.
Oh
She's
my God, I
hot.
was just
Yeah.
gonna say, that's
Her
the most
arms. Did you pay attention to her arms?
Yeah, she's so fit. That's.
I mean, Michelle Fairley is a fantastic actress. When I first heard that. I was at Comic-Con over the summer.
Yeah.
I went to the Resurrection panel, and that was where they announced that she was going to
lucky
be
you.
on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And the room went electric because most people know her as Catelyn Stark from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And so getting an actress from Game of Thrones on the show, it was just like, yeah. It's going to be great. She's a fantastic actress. She did a great job on tonight.
Yeah.
There's something, because Jacob senses her. He just like wakes up in the middle of the night. Creepy Jacob.
So creepy, staring out the window.
He's so creepy.
Walking
Just go
into
to sleep. What, sleep?
Walking into the
Give him some
graveyard.
NyQuil and just go to sleep.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It didn't show at all in this episode them eating like excessively how they were in the previous season.
But Jacob's
Was that...
dad
He
did
went
make
right-
a comment. Remember, he was sitting there pouring cereal.
That's
and he
right.
was like, "You're up early. You're eating a lot."
That's
Again.
right.
Yeah.
As
Oh,
usual,
okay,
nothing
that's
to
right.
do.
That's
Yeah,
right. I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
are they not gonna cover that this episode? No, they did. You're right.
So it's not forgotten, but it's not
Yeah.
a focus point
Right.
because
Right.
we've dealt with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know about it as a weird feature, but
Yeah.
except for
Very
Bellamy.
weird.
Except for Bellamy. So I wonder if it.
Yeah.
I wonder if
That's
it
true.
levels out at a certain point. Like it's almost like you have to eat a lot to. If it's like an energy exhaustion to go through that process of coming back to life.
Man.
So you have to eat all of this to just try to regain the energy that you want, that you would have to be normal, and it levels itself out over time.
Well, I mean, I wonder if the others have the same feeling that Jacob gets. I mean, obviously, I don't know if there's anyone that has had that.
I
like,
don't think so.
oh, someone else. There's another.
Not yet. He's
Right.
the only one we've seen, and
think so,
I
too.
think it's probably because he's a child. Maybe he's more in tune, sort of the way that kids can learn languages faster or easier.
I think so, too.
So he wakes up and he just knows that she's out there.
Yeah.
He knows right where she is.
Walks
too.
up, hi, Grandma.
So cool, calm, and collected.
And she's like, "What's wrong with you?" Didn't she say, "What's wrong?"
Yeah.
He's like,
What
"What are you
happened
talking
to you?"
about? I'm
Yeah.
fine.
She said, "What happened to you, Jacob?"
I died.
Like you.
Yeah.
So clearly she didn't know. There's something odd about her, though. Did you guys feel this like sense
did.
of
I
like?
think something's really weird, and I think something's
Yeah.
really off with her. And why am I blanking on the mom's name? Jacob's mom,
Lucille.
Lucille. I feel like, I don't know, the way that they looked at each other, and there wasn't like this warm. welcoming, like,
No.
thank goodness you're back. It's, I don't know. I just felt like something was really off. I was
That
just,
is her mother-in-law, though.
right. But I guess even with Henry and the mom, I don't know. I think when the grandma was sitting there explaining, like, when I was in the hospital, it all felt
Lucille's, like,
so
sitting.
formal, as
Yeah.
opposed to like, we could just like sit back and we're family, we can talk. To me, it felt very like
She comes from a different
ABC.
time too, I think.
That's true.
does.
That's
And
true.
so she's really, I think they're really proper.
Yeah.
Even the way they dress back
Right.
then, just really clean,
yeah.
well kept. I feel like that's kind of her personality.
Yeah.
But I did feel that feeling. that Lucille was feeling
That
something.
loving feeling.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, wow, like that look is almost like, who's this woman
Yeah,
coming up in my
sitting
house?
on
But
my
she
porch.
looked better than her. I
She
would have
looked-
too. I'd been like,
I was Lucille. You look
That's
great.
your mama?
Lucille, you look great. Don't
Well,
worry.
this is the awkward thing about having your parents come back to life and look basically the same age, if not younger
Yeah,
than
they
you.
all just-
Younger
yeah.
than
and
you.
better.
I mean, she looks at him and it's very similar to the moment we got between Elaine and Caleb
Yeah.
at the beginning of last season. That like, Ma,
Yeah.
and you're
Like
"Oh
touching
my
at the
God."
face and
Yeah.
yeah.
You look like your dad. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just so cute to see these old people
I know.
Like,
say,
so happy.
"Mommy."
Yeah.
It's like, oh. Can I go out and play? Like, you didn't know what to expect.
I thought one thing I want to ask what your guys' thoughts are just because of the importance of what they went through in the process of between dying and coming back. We got a very clear walkthrough of what she went through. She said she was in the hospital. She was in her
Right.
bed. She had a feeling of letting go, and then she woke up in the woods. So, as far as we know, this is now because we had the theory that everything was tied to the river in one way or another last season. We were talking because Jacob died in the river. Caleb's ashes had gone into the river. It seemed like a great thing, and now we're getting more and more the drowning.
Two rivers.
Right. Yeah. Bellamy's parents, then family, they all died in water.
Yeah.
They drowned. So far, we don't have a connection to her and water. She died of.
I guess maybe we don't. It could be totally separate, or we don't know why she was first in the hospital.
Yeah.
Why she was placed in the hospital.
It's true. It's true. I think they might be coming.
Yes.
And then, of course, she walks from there to the graveyard, and then she sees Jacob. And she wants to see Fred.
Of course.
But Fred is having
too busy hitting on his daughter's best friend.
He's a mess.
I mean, Fred is all over the place. And before
creepy uncle. Yeah.
But before we talk about Fred, we're gonna talk real quick. Go aside. It's like Fred's drunk. He can't quite keep pace, so we're not going to keep it. We're going to talk about iTunes.
Let's do it.
It's the weirdest transition. I apologize. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining us again for season 2. I hope you guys. Welcome back. I know you guys hear this all the time on all the AfterBuzz shows. How important it is to go onto iTunes, but it really is. It's a big deal to us as hosts. We like to know that you guys are enjoying the show, that you're enjoying what we're talking about. We want to know what you want to hear more of, what you might want to hear less of.
Yeah.
What do you want us to focus on? We want this show to be the best podcast. We want to be the best podcast at AfterBuzz, and you can make that happen. So the best way that you can do that is to go onto iTunes, go into the reviews. It only takes a minute. Hit us with I hope it's a 5-star review. Hit us with, send us your comments. If you do, you get a little shout out on the show. It's always a good treat.
Let's shout some out.
Well, I mean, we have been off the air for several months, but we did.
We don't have any built up.
We did have. Waiting for us.
We did have somebody commenting.
I know
while we were away. Michael B85 back in May. He was like, "Love it, you guys rock."
Thank you.
And Keandrick said, psyched for the new season. Finally caught up with the recaps of first season. Totally looking forward to the recaps from this new season. Cool. One theory I thought of regards the cicadas in the finale. To me, it didn't seem like it was a whole swarm of them, but rather it was just one that had flown into the energy barrier, whatever the heck that was, died, was resurrected right near it, flew into it again, died, and was resurrected, wash, rinse, repeat for the whole week or however long. And then, or maybe Caleb disappeared or something. I don't know. That's just what occurred to me.
Well, I love it when people are thinking about what we're watching. You know, instead of just being zombies watching, zombies. Yeah. Instead of just being the return, watching a show, like we're actually receiving it. So thank you. What's her name?
That was Keandrick.
Thanks, Keandrick.
Thank you for watching. And that would be an insane thing to happen. There's just one locust over and over and over. But you know that
just
we
flying
love
around.
You know we love wild, crazy theories on this podcast, so they are they're gonna be flowing constantly.
You're gonna be tired after a while. Same locust.
He's like, I just wanted to die so many times.
Stop bringing me back to life.
But so let's talk about Fred, because Fred's got a whole mess going on.
Yeah.
I mean, that man is just. He needs to get it together.
He does.
He's unstable. I mean, he's unstable.
Yeah, talk about Bellamy being unstable.
Yeah, Fred is actually unstable. I mean, he messed up the whole town. Yeah. And I think while the town was somewhat on his side,
they've
at
totally
that point,
turned.
Like, we get it straight up with the postal worker who's just like, he's like, hey, can you move your bus? The school bus can't get by. It's a pretty reasonable reason to move. And he's like, oh, you're going to call the army on me? Yeah. You jerk.
Yeah, and looks back at him. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And the lady just walks away. Oh, man. And of course, he goes to the drink.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't feel bad for him.
I do.
See, I don't. I feel like it's hard. It's his job to protect his community. That's why he wears that badge. But at the same time, I feel like he has put so much of his personal, opinions and the whole deal into it, and I feel like that's not what you're supposed to do, especially in a position like that. Like, he has put all of his baggage all of his baggage into his decisions. Like, I feel like maybe if his family, or if this wasn't hitting so close to home, I don't know if he would have made the decision to do what he's done. And he can see the reaction of people, and obviously they're not liking it or they don't agree with him. And he's just kind of like
outcasting himself.
Yeah, he's just going for it.
I feel really bad for him. And I can't relate to him, but I can imagine what it's like to be in that position. His wife died, and up until she came back, he thought the world of her, even though it seemed like they had a dysfunctional type of relationship. But it seemed like he held her kind of on a pedestal. And then she comes back, and then he learns about all the affairs, and she doesn't want to be with him.
Just one affair.
Yeah, that's right. Multiple times.
All the
okay.
Relationship.
One's enough.
And it was you. Yes. And then he.
Gee, you and Barbara. That's, so many.
I thought you liked
Don't
different
judge me.
kinds of girls.
Don't judge.
Hilarious.
Don't judge.
But
Barbara's
just to witness all that and experience it, and then have her go back to her man, that would enrage me. And instead of dealing with his emotions, he just, I don't know, acted out. So I do.
He lashed out.
He did, and I feel really bad for him because I wouldn't be able to understand that. And so in his mind, he's thinking, well, that's not her because my wife wouldn't do that. And then he completely turns and then wants to kill them all.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a tough one.
I feel bad for him.
He's the one. He got the Ross deal from people coming back. Like other people got their sons back, their children, their brothers, their mothers,
their families.
He
got his cheating wife.
Yeah, he got his wife back, who he had no idea was cheating, and she didn't even stay with him.
No,
she left for the other dude.
And he looked bad. He did not age well. So I don't know what she's doing. She still looked good. She was like young, and he's like old. He's like, honey, my teeth. Yeah, no, I didn't like it.
I mean, and he's drinking on the job. It's not good. He's just struggling.
You know it's bad when you just have a little swig at the bottom there, and you're like
so happy to see it.
You're like licking the bottle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, and then fighting in the street.
Yeah, he
Bellamy.
confronts Maggie about it because Maggie won't take his calls anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Because she wants to side with her mother, I think, because of how not helped by the fact that Fred called the army. He literally.
Right.
He's the last person that still suspects the returns of not being human. Like everyone else is sort of, and like there's something about him being like the last man to fold. I feel like
he might be right. The whole time.
He might be right, but there's he's onto something.
Yeah,
we shouldn't be
so?
discrediting.
Oh yes, you think they're human? I don't think they're human.
Well, let's talk about his Fred and his mom when she
the host of hosts.
Because Fred gets drunk and he calls Elaine over and they go out for their little joyride.
We just called it the whole time. I was just waiting for it. I was like cringing.
The creepy hand on the shoulder.
But this is the thing. I mean, it's like I'm not very close. I'm really close with my friends, families as well, but I would never just hop in the car with my best friend's dad and drink some drinks and shoot some guns,
I feel like
and it was the whole thing was so bizarre to me.
It was, and I feel like she got in the car with him because he was so wasted. In my mind, he was so wasted. So she's like, "I'm going to take him home."
Of course.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Hey, let's stop here." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, okay, drunk guy. All right, we'll stop here." And then it just escalated.
Yeah.
Well, I think she sees him as an uncle, like as a part of her family. So
Uncle Jimmy.
she's willing to have fun with him. Like she flips the lights on. Oh, this will be fun. This will be cute. He's drunk. It's like a good way. He's smiling. That's good. She sees him as a family member.
Yeah.
But then he kisses the nape of her
maybe if
neck.
you're just a woman, like you view it a little differently. I think because I don't know.
I think about my friends.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, would you just hop in the car and just
only if they were drunk and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take you home.
And I would drop them off at home.
Right. And then if they're like, hey, stop over here, I might be like, all right, I'll entertain them for like a minute. And then it got weird.
He was milking it.
He got real
Yeah,
weird.
he was really milking it.
Yeah.
But once I saw him standing behind her, I was like, oh no, here we go.
I think it was the look.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like, oh God, Fred's going to make a move. This is not going to end well.
Yeah. It was just like that. I think he breathed her in at one point.
What else did he do?
But then Fred just it goes to a whole darker place after that. I think Fred really took that hard, like that slight one more rejection is just, and yes, he wasn't, not that he was right to make the move, but just that little rejection pushed him over the edge, and
he just had his head
really
down.
close.
Sorry.
Really close to, he's got his gun out and he's gonna do it, and that's when
Mama
out loud,
Langston, I was like, they are not gonna show this.
I know,
because I was just like,
I'm thinking,
what's gonna happen?
But he's gonna come right back.
I mean, there's a number of shows and even theater plays that I've seen that it's the crazy ones or the one you would least expect that always had it figured out.
Yeah.
And the one that was outcast, the one who said you're crazy, the witch, you know, all those people are the ones who sometimes have it closer.
They do, yeah.
Have it more on the nail.
I agree. I felt like the whole, I guess I can't even call it an attempted suicide because he didn't really attempt, but the thought of
almost
having
attempted,
which, you know, I don't necessarily thought it was like one more rejection. I think it was the realization of what he just did. And it's like his daughter, like, I've hit rock bottom, that I can't believe that this is me. And then he goes back to the picture. So sad. And mommy.
Yeah, Mama Langston just like pops in and is like,
that was just,
what are you doing?
That was so weird.
Yeah,
she was so strong.
She
was
smack.
Yeah.
Scene
so
to me.
you guys should do it real quick. Play out the scene.
smack?
Wait, do I slap? Oh, she slaps me.
You try
I don't like this game.
see what happens.
Chelsea will ninja you across the room, G.
She'll like pass me over really
She would
fast.
Chuck Norris me so quick.
Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee all in one.
I would
No, but
never.
I thought that whole situation was really bizarre to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, maybe it's just her character as a grandma, like how you said, in older. But I just picture a mom walking in to see her son, who she hasn't seen in, you know, God knows how long, and he's about to commit suicide. And there was no, I know it was harsh love, but I guess I would just picture it running out differently.
Well, go ahead. That's resurrection talk.
Yeah.
Where they're returned.
Or minion talk, whatever. But I really think that this whole time, Fred has been a little boy. Like, he's been experiencing this whole process as a little boy.
Yes.
And I think the only person that could literally slap him into place is Mama.
Yeah.
You know? And
Ma.
I think Ma. So I think it was actually perfect that she's back, because she's able to see him exactly the way that she left him, which is this, you know, tough kid who never got his way and always pouted in the corner, never got what he wanted, or was jealous of his older brother for getting the business, blah, blah, blah. The little boy syndrome. And here he is again, not getting what he wants. And so it's like, you know what? Man up, grow up. You're a grown man.
Oh, yeah.
And she's the only one who could have done that way.
Yeah.
And him receive it that way. So
I
I think
agree.
we'll see a new Fred soon.
It was
I
also,
think so too.
yeah, it was also a really sweet revelation when she's going through that moment of she didn't think that he loved her as strongly, because she was conscious during her coma and she never heard Fred's voice. She never
that was a
knew
heavy
that he was there,
scene.
but no, he was there every day. He just couldn't bear it. But there's something sinister about her. There's something
about the
dark.
mom.
See, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
There is.
the
There's
mom.
something.
There's something else going on, and it's
There
sort
is.
of, yes, it's great that she saved him from committing suicide, but there's this moment where like she found out that she had a power over him, that he still loved her that way, and immediately went to him. Because she tells, like, this is the where it starts to get really creepy with her, is when she's talking to Jacob, and Jacob tells her about how he found her.
Right.
Because he
Right.
sensed her.
He says, "Don't
And she's
share
like,
it."
does anybody know about this? And he's like, oh, well, Pastor Tom, you know, my old buddy Pastor Tom. He knows, and my parents know, and Bellamy knows. She's
A
like,
grown man best friend.
don't tell anyone else.
Right.
But I think she's just trying to protect him.
I don't know. I think that...
I mean, I totally agree with you. Like I'm saying, something is really dark and just not soft to me about her. But I think in that moment, that was actually a loving, you know, grandmother figure kind of trying to look out for him. Because if he just spread that around like candy, that wouldn't, you know, people don't need that extra information.
I think she's like Caleb, where
Really?
Caleb knew something else, something more than anyone else.
Right.
He was more connected
Yeah.
to whatever force it was that brought them back. Caleb knew more. I think she knows a lot more than she's telling. I think
think
she's
so,
next
too.
level. Like, if these are...
She's
if
like
it's
a return on steroids.
if it's like it's like a weird like semi like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where it's like they have like fake shells they put down people in it. These are like the ones that have like fully conscious invaders inside them.
I'm scared. Stop. TiVo. Backwards. But yeah, I do agree that I think she has a little bit more information than she's sharing, and I think we'll learn more about that. But oh man, she I think she's another force to be reckoned with, and I'm looking forward to seeing.
Oh yeah,
how
I think
she.
they're setting us up just for a great season. A lot of things
I'm excited for this
that
season.
And something else that they only tease it in this episode was Tom and Rachel.
I know.
Because don't forget they're having a baby.
Oh, that's
a baby
right.
boy.
Yes,
It's a
Bouncing
boy.
baby
And it's growing fast.
Yeah,
apparently.
something's gonna happen.
It's
with the baby.
well,
she thought it was 12 weeks. And
Yeah.
it's like 4 months.
Their estimation was 12 weeks, just based on like when they conceived it
Right.
to when she died, plus the time that she was back. So
Carry the two.
exactly. We're
Divided by
we're doing the
pi.
math. They did it. They did the math behind the scenes. We didn't have to. But based on the development of the baby, Maggie says, no, he's at about 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an extra month.
Yeah, a month. That's
But then we see that clip when she's saying that it's growing really quickly.
Spoilers.
No, it's not a spoiler.
It's in the next week.
Right.
We'll save those for predictions time. Just in case anyone listening doesn't want spoilers.
We don't want to spoil. Okay.
No, you no spoiler.
But we'll get into that. We'll be getting into that in just a minute, Chelsea.
I'll talk to you guys later.
So,
Episode 7. Got the goods.
did you guys think that that's another like sign that like there's something very, very different
Wait.
going
Yeah,
on
of
here?
course.
What was the sign? I missed it.
The extra month.
Oh.
Yeah, I think.
I
mean,
didn't really
Chelsea's,
feel anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
I think they may have.
I think so, of course.
Yeah, I think it changes when they did it, probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a month is not that big of a gap. I don't know. I've had friends who are pregnant and they're like, "Oh, we think you're 12 weeks." And then they're all like, "Oh, no, you're a month ahead." I don't know. It just didn't seem like that it was that big of
It's not that big
revelation.
now.
Not
but
now.
when you've got to go into
I like
every
what you said,
little
though,
thing.
that maybe they had sex.
Maybe it's not his.
Relations ahead of time, or it's not his. Yeah, true.
Ooh,
But no,
that would
she
be
was
so
pregnant
scandalous.
from when she died the
thinks.
first time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. that's
Remember?
true.
Yeah.
true.
Okay. So it is.
They
his.
did it.
They
Okay.
did.
Yeah.
They
yeah,
did
it's
it.
got to be his. Otherwise, Pastor Tom's like, whew.
Yeah,
all
right.
I'm going back to
Off
my
the hook.
wife.
Praise
Yeah.
Jesus. Pastor
Thought I
Tom.
fornicated. I did.
That's right. Okay.
I mean, he slept with his fiance.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
not.
yeah.
It's
He
the
did
complications of people dying.
Yeah.
right.
But let's I mean, do you guys have any other thoughts on this episode? I mean, Bellamy with the revelation that got shot in the chest. It was a big. We sort of like sped past that as we got into.
Do you think that's why he was feeling the chest pain, which doesn't make
absolutely.
sense? Well, then why doesn't Rachel have like her wrists hurting all the time and other people who
Good
died?
point. Good point.
I just
a
don't
great point.
understand.
I think maybe because it was so recent.
We're asking him.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Tell
Zach,
me.
tell me everything.
What do you know?
Well, I think it was just because it was so recent and because he had this sort of memory wipe. Like, who knows what else they did to him?
That's what
True.
that's what I think. I don't think that it's a reoccurring thing from the gunshot, but I think they did something else to him.
Oh, you don't think it's the gunshot?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. Like
Because
something.
I think the wrist would,
Yeah, right? Other people would feel pain.
I think they did. I'm trying to remember now if Rachel actually felt anything after
She
her
didn't.
second death.
I feel like maybe
She didn't. Her second.
or each returned has a little something that the other does. You know what I mean? Like Jacob can feel the others, or maybe Bellamy, physically feels things, or just that could be.
Yeah. But he
if
does
there
have
is, well.
certain things that are different, like the eating. We don't get to see that much, and then the
For anyone
possibility,
else, yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Maybe
of
the
being
level-
the first to come back, possibly.
Yeah, the level of trauma involved,
it's
like
just
being
different.
shot in the chest, is pretty strong, pretty like direct way to die.
right.
As opposed to drowning or whatever it may be.
Or like maybe just as simple as the body attempting to force him to remember
True.
what happened, because that's what happens at the end. His heart hurts, and then he remembers, oh yeah, I got shot in the chest.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking
died.
maybe it was a tracker. I don't know. But I don't think this show goes in that direction.
I think with all these new characters that we have now,
Yeah.
I think that it could easily go that way. I mean, now we have the mafia going after him. I mean, we have so many things that are more.
Well, let's get into predictions
Let's do
so we
it.
can talk
Okay.
about all this stuff.
Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
That's snazzy.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's like Disco Club.
It's spooky theremin music. So yeah, we got on the preview. Jacob wasn't the first back, which we know because of Bellamy. I think they were hinting at Caleb coming back. That
Yeah.
the baby's moving
Yeah.
way faster.
Yes.
So much stuff. What are you guys thinking?
aliens. I'm thinking that an alien head is gonna come out of her stomach and wiggle its head around and then go back in.
Yeah. No, but I think something really is gonna be, unfortunately, the baby. I don't know what, but something. It's not gonna be a normal child.
No.
I mean, that's kind of
Benjamin Button syndrome, maybe.
Yeah, something. I don't know. Something's definitely gonna be, I guess, quote unquote, off. Yeah. Because how do you just birth a normal child after being dead for all that time?
I wonder if it's gonna like grow, because no one else is. Well, it's only been a few weeks, so maybe Jacob's growing faster.
Yeah.
And everyone, maybe they're aging faster than they would.
Yeah.
So we don't know, but we'll find out. Like with that baby. I think they were hinting that Caleb was back.
Yeah.
But they didn't show him.
No.
Per se.
But he has to come back.
He's gonna kill more people.
Yeah.
And he's the only one who's really murdered anyone on the show.
Yeah. No, and I thought it showed him too. Yeah.
He's coming back for sure.
I might have blinked.
Yeah, they did show him.
I think you did blink because it was like boop and gone.
Don't blink or you'll miss huge stuff.
Don't.
So any final predictions, guys, before we go?
Ooh.
Any big like theory swings we want to throw out there? Other than the aliens popping out of people's chests.
Yeah, that was a big one. I threw that in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really excited to see a new Fred. I think that we're going to get a new guy. I think I'm excited for that. I think he could be a really good guy. He's just going through some stuff.
Right.
And so I think, Mama Langston coming in there, I think is really going to change.
Yeah, and they did, on that panel that I attended at Comic-Con, they did refer to her as a villain.
Yeah, I think
season.
I think we're going to get to see that. She might not
saved
be
that
here.
one.
Well, the prediction spoiler wall. I didn't want to.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were referring to her as somebody who could be a villainous force. Okay. Who knows what that means, and who knows if she sticks to that? But she's definitely there to cause trouble. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for our first week here at AfterBuzz Resurrection Season 2. That was episode Revelation. Chelsea Briche, if people want to keep up with you, where can they find you?
If you guys want to find me, I am on Twitter and Instagram at cbriche, CBRICHE.
And I am GMadison4 on Instagram and GMadison4 on Twitter. I'm doing a few shows, so you guys check me out, gmadisonlive.com.
Sweet. And you can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Melina TV.
You guys catch me on Twitter and Instagram at @ZachWilson, ThatZachWilson. Also here at AfterBuzz, I got a bunch of shows this fall. Wrapping up The Strain next week if you like more violent dead people coming back to life. I also got Grimm coming back, Grace Point, Doctor Who and Doctor Who Classics. Lots of stuff this fall. So tune in. Thanks for geeking out with us, guys. And I'm Zach Wilson.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.